Hey, 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 hey. Sorry, my face is very moist. Anyways, hello, busted babies. Welcome to Beyond the Veil. I am Adina. Hey, hi, how you doing? All that good stuff. Anyways, let's get to it. Y'all know why we here. So, there's a lot going on. The VMAs just happened. Before that, Nicki Minaj went on a rampage. I did have a subscriber slide in my DMs and asked me to read Nicki Minaj on her rant. Let me tell you guys, I actually did. I did a reading on Nicki Minaj as a gift to my barb busted babies, because it's a lot of barbs that subscribe here. And I was giving them a gift. This was before the rant, so I actually did see it in her near future, but I thought her rant was about her baby dad, her husband, because of the Cardi B photo shoot thing. I didn't know it was about Wayne, so I had that part wrong, but I did see her ranting about a man, and I thought it was her husband and Jay-Z. But when I finished uploading that Pluto and Capricorn reading, because that video was so long, it took so long to edit and it took so long to upload. I got annoyed. I got tired of trying to upload videos, and I said, fuck that. I'm not uploading the Nicki Minaj one. And then the next day, or the next, like 2 days later, she went on that rant. And I was like, oh, well, I missed that, but oh, well, there'll be others. And then one of my subscribers hit me up in my DM and wanted me to read on the rant. So I did last night. I did a reading on the rant, but what I saw, it wasn't anything new other than what was already out and exposed. So I couldn't really connect to anything, because most of what I was picking up had been said, had been exposed, had already been known as it pertained to the rant. Maybe I could have asked another question, but I asked about the rant and I got the answer about what all was already out there. So I ended up trying to edit that one anyways. I was just going to post it anyways, just for the views, but then it wouldn't edit. And I got annoyed. And I also had a reading with the client who is a Sag rising. And we kept having connectivity issues on the phone. So I don't know what it is about me and Sages right now and our connectivity issues when it comes to technology. But I thought about doing this reading on Nicki Minaj and asking a different question. But there's a couple of things that I'm going to read on today, and now I just want to figure out which one I'm going to start with. So just give me a second. I'll do Nicki Minaj, but I have to think about it the way I want to frame the question. As the outcome, though, I did see the sun. I did see her feeling really happy about things being exposed. You guys remember, you heard it here first when I did the Desiree Perez reading. That the VMA's viewership wouldn't be the same. Behind the scenes, they knew that was going to happen. They didn't like the way they had to shape the VMAs around Megan, because they knew it wasn't going to pull in the views that it would if they shaped it around anybody else. Not saying that it had to be Nicki Minaj, but if they went a different route altogether, they would have probably had a better turnout. But their hands were tied in what they could do this year. They had to turn in some favors. And the only one who benefited from last night is Roc Nation. All right, so I'll read Nicki Minaj. And I'll just read the energy surrounding her. Most High Mother and Father God, thank you for this day, this Thursday. Thank you for this gift. Thank you for these people that are watching me. Thank you for this platform, for being the medium to connect, to be the medium between me being the medium between the divine and the public so many more people than I can reach in my local environment. Most High Mother and Father God, please allow me to conjure up the soul, the spirit of Onika Tanya Mirage, BKA Nicki Minaj. Bring her to me. Nicki. Nicki. That octave. Nicki. She feels like she's vibrating high. Nicki. The innocent party. That's why the Sun card. I wondered if she was going to be out with her baby, but she feels like the redeemed, truth-bearing, pure innocent party and everything, and she's just basking in the glow of self-righteousness. Nicki, that's very Sagittarian, ruled by Jupiter. Nicki Minaj, what's going on with you currently? What's in your energy? What's going on in your life? How do you feel about the things going on in your life concerning you and around you? And what are the outcomes that you would like to show me? Nicki Minaj, you feel like you're in a battle, team against team, giant against giant. Something about you is just proud, even in the midst of battle, to be a giant, to be considered a giant. Battling with the giants. These kind of battles are the beefs that you engage in, not the one with these girls, as you feel. Giants against giants. Nicki, what's going on in your energy? Tell me what's going on in your life currently. Jay-Z. That's what's going on in my life, Jay-Z. This Sag man and a Sag woman, a queen of rap and a king of enterprising and capitalism, and some say would be rap. Now, outside of this reading, me personally, I am from the school of Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne will always be the best rapper alive. As he said, the best rapper alive since the best rapper retired. I agree, Lil Wayne. I'm a Florida girl, and in the South, we acknowledge Lil Wayne just like the world acknowledged Jay-Z as the best rapper alive. I would like to speak for the South by saying Lil Wayne is our Jay-Z. You know, the most we like from, we like Jay-Z, especially when he did Big Pimpin', but anyways, this is Jay-Z and Nicki Minaj's energy. Like I was saying before I started pulling cards, she's in a battle. They're in a battle. And Jay-Z, with Jay-Z, challenging. Three of Wands. The Super Bowl. Now, this is Young Money, the people that Jay-Z has beef with currently. Drake, Nicki, Wayne. And this person holding the staff is Birdman. And the person that he's holding is Lil Wayne because he owns Lil Wayne more than he owns Drake and Nicki. But this is Birdman. And this is Wayne here, who he's holding on to, his slave. And this is Nicki and Drake, the two current chiefs of Young Money, Cash Money. Playboy. And he is the one who feels like on behalf of his artist, he will be the one to deal with Jay-Z. No matter what beefs Birdman and Nicki have had in the past, and Birdman and Wayne have had in the past, because they have had their own in-house civil wars, at this moment, the kingdom is under siege by Jay-Z. And so the ruler of this Young Money, Cash Money kingdom will be the one to defend the kingdom against this Sagittarius man that I believe allegedly is Jay-Z. Recent past, there's been different grievances between everyone in the business, in the industry, on their rise to fame. We've had beefs with Drake and Jay-Z, Nicki Minaj and Jay-Z, Birdman and Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne and Lil Wayne, and whomever. Everybody's had their own grievances in the past collectively. And collectively, each and every last one of them have had a grievance against this King of Wands that I believe to be Jay-Z and Nicki Minaj's current energy. But there also seemed to be a decision in the recent past for all of them to still, or Nicki Minaj at least feels that no matter what beefs have been going on, she feels like she's always been the most loyal to the camp. And the way I feel in my spirit, in my belly, and in my heart, she has been. She has been. Because she's had reasons to not be loyal to each and every last one of these men. But she's been the most consistent in her loyalty. And the nights will ride. Young Money, Cash Money, Playboy, and this is reading on Nicki Minaj, but Nicki Minaj and all of their artists, all of her team, Nicki Minaj specifically will move forward in her pursuits. She feels empowered to continue speaking out, going rogue, because she has her team behind her now. So when we saw her ranting online, and this is the card I got when I saw her ranting online in the same position, but it was in reverse, because she wasn't sure how that was going to go. But she was empowered enough to do it, knowing where she is in her own celebrity. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. Nicki Minaj is Nicki Minaj. So the blackballing can only do so much, especially since she survived it. She's Nicki Minaj now. Even blackballing her wouldn't work anymore because she is established. So she felt like she can go rogue, but this is still Jay-Z, so she wasn't sure how that was going to work out. Now, she's empowered to do so, confident in this pursuit, in this ride. She's confident. So she'll continue being Nicki Minaj and feeling empowered and emboldened in whatever it is she decides to do or say, because she has her team behind her now, and they all will feel empowered the same way because they're sticking together now. And that's a challenge for Jay-Z, which is why it's in the challenging position. It's also in the challenging position because they're having to do this. They're having to band together and put aside differences that are very real within their camp to protect themselves against and defend themselves and oppose Jay-Z. Crowning Nicki, the Hangman. It's interesting. Now, Nicki feels like she's always been the one in her camp to be left out, to dangle out there for herself, to fend for herself, and she's not forgetting that even at this moment. But for this current battle, she's gonna ride. She's gonna ride like the true knight that she is, the true soldier for Young Money, Cash Money, that she is, and that she's always been, a true loyal soldier. But she hasn't forgotten that those men have abandoned her so many times. Unfortunately, they have to work together. This tells me she really does not like somebody within her camp. This is real, real, real. Like, I don't want to fuck with them. Could be Drake, could be Birdman. It's not Wayne. She doesn't mind Wayne. I've read her feelings on him before. She acknowledges that he hasn't been the most loyal, but she also acknowledges that it's because he's a slave. There's only so much Wayne can do in his own situation. So there's this sympathy and an empathy, more of an empathy for Lil Wayne. She has to band together with them, and they all do. They all really wouldn't want to. Probably Drake and Nicki. Birdman, in some sense, probably doesn't want to do this for Nicki because he's been a part of allowing people to come for her. He could have stopped things in the past and put some more weight behind her, but he didn't. He left her out too, just like she felt like Drake did. But they're having to come together now for a bigger purpose. And Nicki's only going to do so much. She's going to take her time, not overburden herself with this or with everyone involved in this, because she's got her own things to worry about, her own lucrative projects. And the truth of things, Nicki is one of the most that's all right now, because Drake has currently been knocked down a notch, while Nicki has been winning since the release of her album. So she's only going to get so much involved and do so much in other people's beefs. Practically, she might speak out, but practically she's got her own lucrative projects that she's working on. And so she'll continue to focus on those, and she'll do what she can for the team. Somebody's mad. Somebody had to take a diplomatic approach to their response, probably Jay-Z, or even the organization, or Jay-Z and the organization, because these are swords. They had to take a diplomatic approach, but they didn't want to. And behind the scenes, there is some viciousness going on, some get back. This is Sparta. This is Sparta. This is war. This is war going on behind the scenes. Nicki's hopes and fears is that she doesn't regret getting too involved in this. Something that didn't really... She could have not chose to be such a loyal foot soldier, because she didn't have to be. And she's just hoping she doesn't regret it. The outcome, though, Nicki Minaj is going to pull back. And she's going to choose to be quiet because she has to. This means this war could affect her in a way that she's going to choose, or be forced to relent. Her tour is on the line. She still has more tour dates, more performances. And Nicki, if you want those to be successful, the problem is the sabotage. Nicki is going to be strategic and choose not to. The outcome, even though she'll be a loyal soldier in the near future, the outcome of this is Nicki being quiet. Because Roc Nation will do everything they can to sabotage her, especially now. Especially now. And they're going to use Megan Thee Stallion to do it. And as we can see, Megan Thee Stallion doesn't necessarily pull in the same money or the same viewership or money for the entities that she partners with, but they will strong arm their ways and force her upon them and force awards. Now, they put Beyonce in a category against Megan Thee Stallion when Beyonce didn't have a video, and they did that so that they can give the award to Megan, allegedly. This is allegedly. They could give the award to Megan, and she could have beat Beyonce in a category. That's an accolade for her. Whether it was Fugazi or not, when it all comes down to the history of it all, Megan Thee Stallion beat out Beyonce for a VMA. And that's all that matters. Even the Grammy, whether Megan Thee Stallion being a multiple Grammy winner against Nicki Minaj is Fugazi or not, in the history of it all, in the statistics of it all on paper, that's what it is. So Nicki knows that the plans that they have to dethrone her, even if the culture doesn't support it, history will. And so she will choose her battles and choose not this battle. I'm going to start with that. Nicki Minaj, I wish you'd come to me for a reading and probably some work so I can help you outsmart these murasakas. Or at least, no, outsmart them. You should put me on your team. Put me on your payroll. And I will help you. I will be your spiritual strategist. Now, Nicki isn't going to do too much because she also knows that when all of this stuff with Lil Wayne and Young Money versus Roc Nation and the NFL is all said and done, they'll go back to abandoning her and she'll go back to being alone. And by then she would have ruined herself again. And they will, again, and this is what she always has crowning her, leave her out to dry. Which is why she's going to pull back eventually. Not before she continues forth a little bit in her near future. But after that, she's going to pull back and focus on her own endeavors and not do too much. She's going to stop this battle between Young Money and Jay-Z because she's going to realize that she'll be a casualty to it, or she doesn't want to be a casualty to it when it's all said and done. The bigger picture. Because Jay-Z has, the decision is done. It's done. They're not going to get what they want. And it seems like even if Kendrick wanted to bring Lil Wayne out, maybe he will, maybe he won't. As a whole, what would Nicki Minaj gain from everything? Even if Lil Wayne is successful at being a part of the Super Bowl, the way she came out on her rant, that would benefit Lil Wayne. And she could be like, congrats, Lil Wayne. But then she'd have to deal with the damages and repercussions of that decision that had no benefit to her. So that's why the outcome would be her choosing to be quiet. And that is a strategy in this war of her own. She's done enough. Let me look into her near future and see what else she's going to do. I wish I could tell you, Nicki, whatever you're about to do, don't do it now. Go ahead and pull back now. Yeah, she could say something else that doesn't need to be said or continue to entertain the rant that she went on before she realizes that she doesn't need to do this. Because behind the scenes, calls are being made, shots are being called for her head already. To block her in some way. She'll be the one that they come after. She's currently on tour. They feel like you had no business involving yourself. You just came out of nowhere with this. That's what this Three of Swords in the Tower is. They just feel like out of nowhere, you just spazzed. And Nicki Minaj, before you went on this rant, you could have let the fans complain about it, and they might have changed their mind. And they might still do it because they see the response from the general public. So if they do choose to let Lil Wayne do it or be a part of it, it'll be because of the response from the fans, and if they don't, how the fans will respond to them. But behind the scenes, they don't like being forced into doing anything, and they didn't feel like you needed to call out them and Jay-Z and make those accusations that you did. And I would agree, because when I first read it before it happened, the reading that I didn't post, this card came out in reverse, and I said, you're going to do something that doesn't necessarily need to be done. It's a little bit reckless. So these decisions that are being made now to target you are because of the rant that you went on. If you had have waited for the public to complain about Lil Wayne and then you spoke out, it wouldn't have been so bad. But because you went, when you went in, and this is where you need me, because I get it that you go in and you spaz. It's now a part of your brand. But there's a way to do it, a strategic way to do it. Even if you're going to go be a rant girl, there's a strategic way to do it, a time and a place. And you always just miss the mark, and you do it, you jump the gun too soon, always. That's my opinion, my spiritual opinion. And I just gave you some tea that I would have liked to tell you in a personal reading, to help you, not to change you, but to help you be who you are, call people out. But I could tell you when, how, and why to do it. And and you're going to realize that that's why the outcome will be you choosing to fall back because of this. Your own livelihood, your own projects. Because there is an injustice, a sabotage of some sort that you know has been done to you before by Rock Nation and will be done again. When you went to Amsterdam and you got accosted by the federales, that was them, allegedly. That was them. And you will remember that. And think about your own business. And I'll end with this, because this is what's currently going on by the people that are angry with you. No, I'll end with Jay-Z and your current energy. Already, they are getting at people that you have deals with or would have deals with, and threatening them to not work with you. You know that's a strategy that they've already done. I think you've mentioned that. Well, it's a strategy that works. They use Beyonce as leverage. The Beyonce and Jay-Z, they run everything. They run everything. Together, they block the opportunities. They do it. B and J, they are the queen and king of the industry. The emperor, empress, and the emperor. Now, people are going to ask about Beyonce, and I'm curious. Let me look into her. Page of Swords. The Sun. Secretly, I still believe Beyonce is in support of Nicki Minaj, even though outwardly she has to stand by her man. Anytime I read her and how she feels about Nicki Minaj, I feel like silently whenever Nicki Minaj does her big one, Beyonce's like, yes, girl. Even though I'm a part of blocking you when you win, I salute you. When she sees Nicki Minaj still come out on top, she feels a little bit more relieved about the regretful things that she has to do against her. Beyonce silently cheers for Nicki Minaj, even though she outwardly has to oppose her. And Jay-Z in the current energy, in the present energy. Shot caller. Make the decision maker. Not just for the NFL, but for the industry. This is the fans, the general public, the Barbs. Queen of Cups. It seems to be that Jay-Z is currently the one who just got everyone in line in supporting Megan Thee Stallion. Even though the reports, I believe, I haven't read them for myself, but I've heard, are that her numbers all around, streams, music, releases, tours, whatever, don't amount to the accolade. But he is a decision maker. He is the decision maker. And so everyone will fall in line to support Megan. Let me look at that Queen of Cups, because that is Megan Thee Stallion. Her relationship, I believe she has a very intimate relationship with somebody. This relationship isn't outward. It's not. She's in a relationship with someone, or she has dealings with someone or someones that she can't date publicly. This is someone involved in music that she can't date publicly. It almost is like the real reason someone supports her career so much, the tour with her and Glorilla. This is always her and Glorilla in my readings that involve Megan Thee Stallion. The Fool card, and Glorilla is always the little barky dog. Glorilla, I'm just going to say this to you. If you see this as a side note, you are a means to an end, and so is your success. Yo Gotti and Jay-Z, they do business together. And so you and Meg happening aren't by coincidence. And the agreement is that you will never, ever get bigger than Meg, which is why I say that you're the little doggy in this. They bring you along for the ride. Your success has a lot to do with Roc Nation, which is why you were in the picture with Beyonce. They brought you along for the ride because out of all the girls, you don't compete to Megan in sex appeal in any way. They feel like you don't compete to their plans, to what their plans for her, to make her a queen of rap. You will do well as long as you are hitched to that ride and never try to do too much. And even your boss knows that. The Lovers. Yeah, there's a realer reason behind the strings that are pulled for Megan and why she was chosen. Allegedly, these are decisions that were made a long time ago at parties, industry parties. Megan did things. That's why she has allegedly. It's why she has the reputation that she has to be such a fun girl, allegedly. And that's why Jay-Z does so much for her. And Warner Brothers and these, they go out on a limb to make her happen. She chose, there are different routes that you could take to get on in the industry. And the old school route and the most assured ways is to be that girl. And that girl behind the scenes means something different to be the it girl, the popular girl in the public. It means something else. And this had to do with things done in the past at industry parties. When she was going through misfortunes in her career in litigation with Carl, it has a lot to do with the decision, why they chose to invest in her. It was at an industry party that they made the decision to invest in Megan Thee Stallion's career and put the machine behind her. Spirit, one more card. Why? because she agreed to be Nicki Minaj's rival, and she agreed to be a slave. And so much, because either she was going to be a slave to Carl, or she was going to be a slave to Jay-Z and someone more powerful. She chose to be that slave to Jay-Z. And there were a lot of things that have to come along with that she's a slave to. That's why I always sold her soul. She agreed to sell her soul. And that's why I always, in my mind, I want to say she literally walked into the industry knowing that she was going to be selling her soul, knowing all the dark deeds that they were going to have to do, that she was going to have to do, and doing them. That's why I always feel so bad for her when I read her, because, and I always say anyways, this was supposed to be about Nicki Minaj, but I needed to get down to the bottom of some things. So the outcome will be Nicki Minaj choosing to relent from this battle. That's the outcome. I think she's still going to do a little bit more before she does, though. All right. Love you guys. Bye.